What is up, PFL Nation? Happy Tuesday on this electric week 12. Oh my goodness, we have an amazing pod lined up tonight. As always, it's your boy John Smith with Austin Briley in the booth.
What's up, y'all?
And this week we have a very special guest, especially coming off that monster performance. I can't wait to get to it. Say what's up, TRP. How you doing, bro?
What's in PFL Nation? What's up? What's up?
Woo. Super happy to have you in here, bro. It's going to be a great pod. We got a great show for everybody. And of course, we going into the final week of the season. So when we get to the end of this pod, I can't wait to hear AB and TRP's thoughts on, the games we're looking forward to the most. I'm pretty sure we're all going to be talking about our own teams since this is the win and in week for all of us. So I can't wait to get to that. But first things first, we got to start off with last week's games. And, we did talk about this game on the show last week, but now, we have the official stat cards so we can talk about it a bit more in depth. And, we got a new guest to hear some words on. So, as we saw, Bama did beat UCLA, had a great bounce back game. Carson did his thing. We talked about it last week. Overall, I still feel like this is a tough game to judge because UCLA ain't exactly it, as we all know. So I don't feel like this is a massive bounce back for Bama. But AB, do you have any additional thoughts that we didn't cover on last week?
Nope.
Hey, that's perfect. That's perfect. What about you, TRP? Did you see this game? And how do you feel about it? Do you think Bama is sliding a little bit? They barely beat us. Then they came out here and have been having a couple of, questionable weeks. Or do you feel like Bama's still consensus top two team in the nation?
I mean, they only won by 10 against a poor UCLA team, so I guess they're a little bit sliding, but I mean, a dub is a dub at the end of the day.
Yep.
But I expect them to win a little bit more convincingly. They only won by 10 against a 3-win UCLA team. Y'all supposed to be a top 2 team in the nation. Y'all supposed to blow them out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or at least more convincing. But a win is a win. So
Yeah.
that's what I got.
Yeah, I mean, we agree. I think, AB and I talked about this last week, but I definitely agree with that. A win is a win at the end of the day. They needed the dub after the performance they've been having. But yeah, I also came into this expecting, a absolute blowout, and that is not what we
Right.
got. So let's move on to the game I'm excited to talk about. No bias, no bias, no bias
What?
here, no bias.
Yo,
Yo, this game was
yo.
a slaughter. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. They did not
This is
have an
what they did to
answer.
us, bro. Thank you
Uh
for
huh.
that. Thank you for
Little
that.
revenge game for AB. But yeah, this they did not have an answer for what we had going on. This was Caleb's first X Factor game that clearly showed with the way he was delivering to the wide receivers. I know Nas isn't on the stat sheet, but Nas, shout out my boy, also had over 100 yards. I was killing him on the ground. I'm not gonna lie. It was basically our offense could do whatever we wanted to do. I don't know if you guys caught this game. TRP, I'll bounce it back to you. Did you catch this game, and do you have any thoughts on this type of result here for USC versus LSU?
I definitely caught this game, and I stopped watching at the third quarter when the game was completely over. Caleb Williams was using that X factor to the best of his abilities because he came out and put a beating on LSU, like for real.
Yeah,
Like, I wish I had that quarterback play all year for my team, but it is what it is for y'all.
bro, me too. I wish I had that quarterback play all year for my team. Shit.
Man,
Man, we'd be in a way different position than we are now. But AB, I know you watched it or at least saw some of it. What are your thoughts on this blowout here?
This soothed my soul. It really did. No, because I was just sitting there and it was on a day where I felt like shit, like personally.
Yeah.
And then I just sitting there watching this shit, and I got so comfortable with this game, like with you guys like having it in hand, that I actually fell asleep within like the last minutes of it, and I had the most peaceful nap ever.
Yeah, man, I feel like that was a consensus with the viewers too. Is that shit hit fourth quarter, and they were like, "Oh, okay, there ain't no magic in this one. This
But it
one is a
was it
lock."
was one that you could enjoy the entire time. It wasn't like one of those ones where you get tired of watching it.
Right. Yeah.
It was like something that was
Well,
special.
I certainly enjoyed it the entire time. I mean, I was hyped
I
up,
bet you
bro.
did.
I was feasting in that game. Yeah, honestly, not a whole lot to say. Obviously, I like Coach Anderson a lot. I think LSU, has a chance to have a really solid recruiting season and bounce back next year. So I don't think this is, any judgment on their future,
Isn't
but
this
obviously this season was not ideal for them.
isn't this Dada's first game back again
Yeah, it
too?
was Dada's first game back. So
They took personal offense to this. I felt so bad.
I know.
They're like, Zeke, you guys told us 8 minutes before.
Uh-huh. They're
And
like,
then we're gonna do another one of those here in a little bit, cause that was
mm-hmm.
fucking hilarious, bro.
Yeah, that shit was brutal. So we'll move on to a game that I feel like honestly has more discussion to it.
I watched this whole game.
Yup, I was super intrigued by this one. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I really was tuned in on this one. This was one of my games of the week. I thought Utah came out and performed really well. I think Utah honestly probably deserves that number 2 spot in the nation. I think FSU is still right now the better team, but I think Utah looks amazing, and I think they did a really good job here against Miami, who came in looking hungry, right? We all knew they were going to come in here and try to make a statement against this Utah team, try to get back to their early season ways, and it just did not happen. AB, you said it, you kind of set yourself up here. You watched the whole game. What are your thoughts on this? How are we feeling about, this one in particular?
Consistency, consistency, consistency,
Yep.
and inconsistency because they brought the other quarterback back out. Madden doesn't do well when you do that. It is simply just an AI, and you have to realize that every single time that you throw somebody else out there, you're expecting that player to be ready within like one little set time frame to handle everything that was pre-programmed for the other person.
Yep.
So you can't really do that with Madden.
Yep.
Now, Utah, Utah just did their thing.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think Utah performed really well. I did want to say, honestly, to me, that's one of the better points of Madden. I just want to state, I'm pretty sure most of us have played organized football or coached organized football in our lives, and that part I feel like is realistic.
I've
Yes,
refed organized football in my lifetime.
every
Mhm.
once in a while, you'll get someone come off the bench and light a spark, but it's pretty normal. If you're going back and forth on quarterbacks, it's hard to get a consistent performance. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
players aren't just going to be able to stand up and go, like you said. And I feel like that was reflected here, bringing PS3 back into the lineup. TRP, how do you feel about this? You share similar thoughts, or were you surprised at this result at all?
I mean, similar thoughts. I mean, it's Utah. Utah been consistent all year. They're top 2 teams in the
Yep.
nation.
Yep.
They did have a little bit of hiccups, but got to bring in that Notre Dame loss earlier in the year. But
Mm-hmm.
other than that, they've been highly consistent. This is what was expected from them when they went against Miami.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think the consistency has really come into play. I think Rado's started to get more and more consistent with the way he's moving the ball, and they're doing a great job. I know he's not on here, but leaning on the back duo of Bo and Azel has really done a
Hmm.
lot of damage. Defense, I mean, honestly, as a defense, it's super hard to game plan for both of those guys because they're very different style running backs. So, Utah, shout out to our coach over there. That's my boy. He's really figuring it out over there. So, good job on them boys. I mean, with that, we're gonna move on to this next one. Oh boy, oh
Woo!
boy.
Hey.
Oh my goodness, with the donut. Okay, we had our donut game here. 34-0. This is a massive upset, an incredible performance. I know TRP. I will give you your flowers. I know you're not on this stat sheet, but don't
This
worry,
was
you'll
the
get your
consensus
chance.
fan favorite to
But
look at, to look forward to. By
but
the way,
oh
last
my
week.
God, the defensive performance by Notre Dame, I'm not going to let that slide. They were absolutely lights out on the defensive side. So, huge shout out to your defense, TRP. But as we always do with guests, win or lose or draw, we always let the guests talk first on their own games. How you feeling about this one, man? How's that locker room energy? Like, what's going on with you guys after a performance like this?
I mean, we expected this, to be honest with you. We've been look, we just been up and down all year, but this is what we are truly at our full potential. Where we have a good quarterback play, when the defense balling, when the running game starts attacking. When we put everything together, this is what we expect. You know what I mean? And if we did this all year, we would have been the number 1 team in the nation.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But it just Ole Miss was just, you know, was a team in front of us, so we have to show the world like what the fuck we about.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Stop doubting Notre Dame. That's all, man. Watch out for us. We coming for your heads. It is what it is. We coming
Absolutely,
for
man.
y'all. Real talk.
Mhm.
We showed against Ole Miss and Miami. Y'all next. If we lose,
Mhm.
I'm still gonna talk my shit. It is what it is. But we coming for y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I mean, we talk about it every week. I'm not just saying this because you're the guest on the show. AB can back me up on this. We talk about Notre Dame's talent every week. We talk about the fact that you cannot rule them out every week. Some of your losses have been real close, real tough, except your loss to me. But you
They
know,
had 200 yards
otherwise,
that game. We had 200.
otherwise, you guys have really, you know, we watch for you every single week. You're almost always on the list of games to watch. AB, we saw an absolute slaughtering. We got our Notre Dame expert, but I'm putting the you know weight on you to talk about Ole Miss here. We saw KC did not perform in this game. Obviously, 3 picks with no tutties is never where you want to be. But this is an
Looking
all
like Ross.
around. This is an all around hurt on Ole Miss. What do you think happened here? You know, from our commentary, analytic point of view, how are you feeling about this game for Ole Miss? Is this a sign of things to come, or is this a fluke game?
This is this is hard because I don't want to say it's a fluke game because I don't think it was a fluke game for Notre Dame, but I think it was a fluke game for Ole Miss for doing literally nothing about it like the whole. Um, I do think it was a fluke game for the Ole Miss defense because they're supposedly really, really good, and they usually are.
Yep.
We saw what the Armani brothers did a week ago and all that stuff. And now this happens. Yeah, there's just not a lot that can be said. I guess I'm really glad about Notre Dame finally showing what they can do, like TRP said, because, I mean, like you said, we say it every single week, and so we've been waiting for it. And so, good job, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we really have. We called for this shit every week, so it's good to see you guys show up. And I do want to say, TRP, J Pick, you boys, shout out because, you know, Mamadou's a superstar,
Yes,
Gucci's
sir.
an X Factor, and
Yes,
you
sir.
guys went to work.
Mhm.
So I mean, that
Hey,
can't go unstated here.
That just shows that shit ain't
J
nothing to
Pick
them.
said there'll be 4 or more.
And it
How
happened.
many touchdowns are there, bro?
It happened, bro. It was
There's
crazy.
5.
So I mean, I just want to give that wide receiver core a shout out. It's never easy lining up against boys like that. Ole Miss defense is real, and you guys put the fear of God in them. So that was quite a performance. So shout out to you for sure on that.
They went to the church. They came to the
They
church.
did.
You know, we have to
They
bless
did.
them.
They came to the church. That's what happens. With that, we're gonna jump right into another slaughter. But this one I'm not nearly as excited about because unfortunately, AB,
This
it is
one
against our
depresses me.
boys. It's
I
against
know, it
Cincinnati.
depresses me.
It just
It's
makes
so
me
depressing,
sad.
bro.
So I don't really want to talk about this too much. TRP, I don't know if you caught this game. I don't know if you watch the pod every week, but AB and I talk about Cincinnati every week with just a sense of depression, my man. It's just like they're trying, you know, they trying to figure it out, but it's rough. It's rough in Ohio for them boys. How you feeling about Oregon, TRP? You think this is a real team? I know you need them to lose against me, so let's push that bias out for 1 second for the playoff push. But how'd you feel about this game, bro? You felt like they just performed how they should, or do you feel like this is an extra special performance out of the Oregon Ducks here?
It's Cincinnati. You know, it's
Why'd you say that?
I'm sorry. Look,
bro. Every week.
I mean, but you know, Austin, y'all bounced back.
Yep.
Y'all did what you had to do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all had a lesser opponent. And you had to beat up on them. It is what it is. That's a schedule. You know what I'm saying?
You play what's in front of you.
Right. It'd be kind of disappointing if y'all didn't do this. You know what I mean? So, but you know, shout out to y'all for doing what y'all do. Shout out to Cincinnati for fighting, still fighting. You know what I mean?
Shout out to John Smith for catching us on an off week.
I know.
Yeah.
Bro, it's gonna be crazy.
That's my views on this game. I mean, I ain't got nothing much to say. We could pass this game.
We're getting caught on the wrong side of Detroit right now.
You good?
Right.
I get it.
We're on the wrong side of 8 Mile.
I gotta pack that up. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't have a lot to say on this. AB, I know you don't either because you don't want to dump on Cincinnati. So I will give you your flowers. You had a monster game, 330, 4 tutties. You look great. Overall, Oregon's
I will
offense
say I think
moved
I'm
it.
leading the stat lines again.
I think you are as well. This game was definitely a stat pattern for you. So honestly, it just gets me more and more excited for the end of this pod. That's kind of why I'm moving through these because I feel like with it being the final week and all three of us being on the bubble, we're gonna have a lot to talk about. But let's move on to this game where we
This is
saw
my old address number, bro.
where we saw FSU do what they've been doing every single week, bro, for weeks now. FSU again comes in here, shows out.
Shout
Mays
out to
and
Jerry
Bell,
Mays for doing it in 100 less yards.
bro, they look
Right.
they look so good against UGA, and I mean we just beat UGA, so maybe UGA's on a downturn right now, but man, FSU looks great. I think they have locked in that number one spot. I don't know if it's going to be the number one curse for them with the way they've been performing, but AB, since you didn't really get to talk on this last one, I'm gonna bounce it out to you. How are we feeling about FSU, bro? Are we looking at defending back-to-back champs here? What are we looking at? They're looking nice.
Maybe. Or they could lose in the first round.
Ooh, you
I
think
don't know.
Mm.
so? You think they might be a
Hot
I
take.
first
don't
round
know.
exit? That's a hot take.
Hot take for sure.
Mhm.
I know, but why would it not happen?
Bro, they've been killing everybody.
I know, but with what's going on this year,
Yeah.
with all the number one teams,
Yeah.
why would it
The,
not happen?
yeah, the number one curse has been real
Why
this
would
year.
it not be one of the little sneaker teams that are like
Uh-huh.
6-5 or something like that comes in and swoops them?
There's like five of
True.
us that are gonna be that 6-6, bro. That's gonna
I
make up the
know, and
whole top eight.
if they catch you guys again, then that's a different
Mhm.
ballgame.
I'm
Mhm.
about to say if they catch us again, they barely beat us. So who
Mhm.
knows? Who knows? You're right.
For real. I mean, it's hard, man. Heavy weighs the crown, right? That's the phrase. So,
Remember what happened with Oregon and
yep,
Jameis Winston?
yep.
You're right.
You,
Right.
you just
But that's
never
Jameis
know.
Jameis,
Winston though.
I
I
know.
know, but they were number 2 in the nation,
Yeah,
Mm.
that's Jameis Winston
or
though.
number 1,
That's
one of
Pick
the two.
King. That's Pick King right there.
I was about to say that was like the
Not
first
in
of Jameis
college,
Winston
bro. He
I
won the
know.
downfall.
Heisman.
I know.
Remember?
I know. He was nice in
I,
college. That's still the Pick King though.
I was about to say
Uh.
that game showed the NFL Jameis Winston.
Uh huh. That's. I'm pretty sure Jameis Winston is Mav's direct
I'm gonna
motivation at
come out
quarterback.
running like Marcus Mariota, bro. Now that I got
Oh
80
my God!
speed.
Just throw to yourself. TRP, how we feeling about this? Obviously, Georgia's on kind of a downturn here, if you want to speak on that, but FSU continuing to perform. Do you think it could be the number one curse? Do you feel like this is a team you want to look out for in these coming playoffs, or do you feel like it's on site? It's not that scary. FSU ain't that above everybody else.
I mean, they're the number one team, defending champs, but
Yep.
I ain't worried about them. Like early in the year, I know they started off slow, but we had them. Something. But Madden didn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And to be honest, they 8-3. They're not above and beyond everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So they could slip up, like I said, in the first round. But this is probably just Georgia on a bad day because Georgia, they're some dogs too. Not no
Yep.
pun intended, no pun intended. But they're some dogs. But FSU is like the defending champs, so they did what to do. But they're gonna have a target on their back for
Yep.
sure when it comes to playoff time. Even now, to be honest.
Yep.
So
No,
like they're the top team to beat for a fact.
I agree, and I'm glad you brought that up because honestly, when we're talking about the playoff games, that's what we're going to be talking about. It's going to be listen, they have a target on their back. They've been slaughtering people. They're the number one team. Whoever's going to play them, I mean, you hit it. They're going to come in super prepared. You know what I mean? They're
Mm-hmm.
going to be game planning out the ass because they know, right? You got all this film to watch. You've seen what this team been doing. They're gonna go in and be like, do not take us lightly because it's gonna be a low seed versus the top seed, and FSU can't go into that thinking this is gonna be a walk in the park because that just ain't gonna happen for them.
Right,
So
and they
I
most
agree.
likely played their opponent already too. So that's
Exactly.
the film right there.
Exactly. With that, let's go ahead and move on to what is the biggest upset and what caused some
Man,
massive uproar
man,
in the Discord, some absolutely insane uproar. as it usually does when there's a massive upset like this. We got Mr. Casey Parker going out
Speaking of coming off the bench, bro.
crazy. Right.
Man, who is this guy?
We
bro?
were setting up for this, bro. That's why I talked about it earlier when I said every once in a while someone comes off the bench and goes crazy. And this man came off the bench and went crazy with 171, looking like Lamar Parker out there, losing his mind as he runs all over this Texas defense to lead
Marcus
his
Mariota,
team to
bro.
a win, bro. This game was wild. I did not see this coming. You guys know how I feel about Texas. I love them boys. They're strong players. I thought they deserved that #1 spot. I was the first
Arch
one
tried hard, bro. Look
pushing,
at the
bro.
stats.
54 passes for our boy Arch with 335 and 3 tutties.
I know his
Texas,
arm hurt.
they were not ready for Parker. That is really how I can summarize this game. They were not ready for a true scrambling QB. Their defense was not prepared for this, and they did not have spies. So he feasted. That's what I got for that. TRP, I'm bouncing it back to you. How do you feel about this, man? What do you think this does for Texas as far as their morale and motivation going into the playoffs?
I mean, Texas should be okay because ain't nobody expected Parker to do what he did out there.
Agreed.
They had no film, no nothing on this guy. Like he just came out like third string. He just came out of nowhere and then caught him slipping. So if I was Texas, yeah, we lost to Michigan, but I still be like we all right because next time he ain't gonna do the same shit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Since y'all know, but like who the fuck is this guy? Like
For
real
real.
talk, who would have thought he would have did what he did? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
So
Bro went
yeah.
crazy. It was definitely an unexpected performance. AB, do you think this is more on that surprise factor working out in Michigan's favor, or do you think Texas is gonna have to make some adjustments here moving into the playoffs?
I don't even know what this is. I feel like this is a player that just got made or something.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit skeptical of that because what the hell, bro?
Bro, he went
Yeah,
nuts, bro. Absolutely nuts.
You tell me like a 54 overall?
Mm-hmm. Walks
No.
in and puts up 171 rushing yards. Bro went crazy.
207 passing yards.
Bro went crazy. No picks either. No nerves
three
at
total
all.
touchdowns.
Uh-huh.
The
Number
guy
one
coming off cold.
number one team in the nation didn't even care. Said,
I
"See ya."
don't think so.
Bro went
I don't,
wild. That
I
that
don't
game
think so.
was wild. So,
Lamar Anderson starting now, by the way.
we'll see how that
About time.
works. I think he's earned his shot. I'm sure Tyon is mad at this performance by Arch, so we're going to see week 12.
John, you know that he's mad.
I know he's mad. I know he's mad. We're not gonna talk about it. I know he mad. We're gonna keep it pushing to get to what I've been wanting to get to basically since we started this call. Bro, it's week 12. All right, it's week 12. It's the final week. There's so much at stake. So for those that don't know, if you two don't mind, I'm gonna take the lead for just a minute for playoff scenarios here. These are the big ones. Okay, we got Oregon, Miami, USC, Notre Dame. Okay, those are the big ones. Basically, no one else can really slide in at this stage that's below those teams. So those are the big players fighting for those last couple spots. Here are the scenarios. So first, we have Thursday's game. That's massive. Okay, if Miami wins, Notre Dame cannot make the playoffs. Sorry, TRP. You cannot get in if Miami wins. So, let's say Notre Dame wins, just to keep some spice here. We move to Saturday. If USC wins against Oregon, USC will be in and Notre Dame will be in because of tiebreakers. If Oregon wins, Oregon will be in instead because of the fact that obviously you guys are on a win and in straight up. So these are the major scenarios here because of the tiebreakers. So what's ideal for obviously for me is just getting a win on Saturday. We win on Saturday, we're in. Notre Dame, you need to win, and then you need me to win on Saturday for you guys to get in. And then Briley, you just need to win. So you and I are both on just win a game, and we're in the playoffs. Or if you lose, Briley, and Notre Dame lose, I believe you are in as well because you beat Miami on the tiebreaker. So, With that,
Jesus.
boys, I'm gonna send this off now. Thank you for letting me give that whole spiel to all our viewers who may not know all the scenarios. Let's start with Thursday's game. We're doing this a little differently this week. Normally we each name a game. This time we're just gonna talk about the two biggest games of the week because let's face it, they are the biggest games of the week. They're the ones that change the playoff structure. So let's start with Thursday's game. Miami Notre Dame. TRP, I'm gonna let you go last because I know you're gonna have bias here, so I gotta go to AB first. AB, what are we watching for? For me personally, I think it's gonna be Notre Dame's gonna be hyped up, but Miami knows they need to win this game, right? Both teams are gonna be on that. We need to win. What do you think we're gonna see? Do you think it's gonna be a blowout? Do you think it's gonna be a nail biter? That's what I'm gonna ask.
I don't think Miami cares that they need to win this game.
Okay.
I think Notre Dame's just gonna come out and do their thing. Like I said, and like I say every week.
Yep.
That was way too good of a performance. That was way too shaky of a performance.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I agree. You kept it short and simple, but I agree. I think Miami might struggle with that sense of urgency due to, that lack of confidence at that QB spot. And I know Notre Dame, I know you guys are going to come in hot because you know you have to win. So,
Mhm.
um, with that, TRP, I'm going to let you talk your shit here. I'm going to give you two things. One, first, I want to say, obviously you can't, leak everything, but how are you guys feeling going into this game? Is there anyone in particular that you're game planning for? You don't have to name them, but just let me know if
Mhm.
there's someone you're watching out. And then two, first time PFL history here, because it's such a big game, I'll let you get one line of talking shit and letting Miami know that you coming.
All right. All right. Um, the locker room, we're confident after what we just did last week, but we also got to be prepared too because we can't be catch slipping. Miami
Yep.
is a good team. At the end of the day, they're the 8 seed for a reason. But we game plan for their
Okay.
whole offense, whole defense. So for the whole team, so we just don't be catch slipping. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yep.
And I'm about to talk my shit right now.
Yep. Let's
Just
do it.
know, even though we're the number 10 seed, to be honest, we're the number 1 seed in real life. It is what it is. If y'all would have catch us with a better quarterback early in the season, we would have been probably up there with all y'all niggas. Fuck it. We beat Utah. You saw what we did to Utah. Y'all saw what we did to Ole Miss. You know what I mean? Sorry, Austin, but y'all saw what we did to Oregon. You know what I'm saying? Alabama barely beat us on some fluke shit. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? UGA, they called it slipping. It is what it is. Yeah, USC,
Mm-hmm.
y'all did what you had to do, but I still had 200 yards on your heads.
You did. You did.
Anyway, anyway, but you saw the you saw, if we had better quarterback play, we would have been up there. So we is a we're a top team,
Yep.
but the record don't show it. So watch out, Miami. Don't sleep on us. You better be urgent
Yep.
because if you're not, we is gonna blow shit out y'all. It is what it is.
Yeah. That I
But
agree
y'all still,
with. I think
yeah.
Miami has to come in with that urgency, or it's going to be real bad, real fast. And I mean, to you guys, I mean, you're coming in with the same thought process. Honestly, I know AB is as well for our game. It's this is a playoff game to me and my squad. USC, Nas, Trey, Watt, Coach. This is a playoff game. We have to win. I know you guys are going to come in with that same mindset against Miami. So I'm excited, man. I can't wait to watch you go out there and perform. But Austin, we're gonna get to the game we want to talk about, which is obviously Cincinnati UGA. That's the game that everyone really wants to hear.
I got UGA by win by 50.
Yeah, I got UGA by about 100 on that one. No, but for real, it's Saturday's game. It's the first time AB and I have played each other. I'm very excited. You guys all know AB and I are obviously close friends, and this is unfortunately a massive game for both of us. So of course it is, right? We couldn't just have a nice friendly game where both of us are already in the playoffs. But I'm going into this one. I'll speak for USC here. We're feeling really good after what we saw out of Caleb this week. We're feeling really good about the way the run has come together and the way the pass is opening up the run and vice versa. Our defense, obviously, we still have a little bit of things to work out. And honestly, AB against you guys is really, I'm going to leak it. I don't really care. I'm that confident. It's going to be game planning for tomorrow. And I think you already know that because you know how I feel about him. I think he's, best player in the league right now. So for us, it's going to be trying to slow him down as much as we can. I really think the winner of the run battle between me and him are going to be the winner of this game. So I know that's really going to be a focus for us. I can't wait though to go up against you out on that field, man. It's going to be a great time. Win, lose or draw, I know it's going to be a great time. So I'll pass it to you. Let you speak for Oregon. When it comes to us, I know a lot of people sleep on us, but I know you don't because of me. So I know you've been following us every week. When it comes to USC, what are you game planning for? Again, you don't have to leak it like I did. You don't have to name a player, but what are you game planning for? What are you worried about? And I'll let you do the same. You can talk a little bit of shit, but just know I'm on the call.
There is no game plan.
Don't say that. AB, you gotta
The
have
locker
a game
room
plan.
has been very quiet.
Okay,
Coach has been gone,
that's fair.
so
Is
we don't know how to game plan.
is it just a confidence thing? Are you saying you're not worried about me? You're like it's whatever. We don't need the game plan. Or are you saying there's a little shaking in the locker room? Are you leaking that on in the booth right now? There's some locker room shaking going on in Oregon.
That's why I'm going somewhere else.
Ooh,
Oh,
ooh, ooh,
damn.
damn! It's like that.
Breaking news
Ooh,
like that.
that's that breaking news. Where's the round the clock boys? They better be in here. Ooh,
Damn. You got your
shit.
top 14 that you want to go to or something?
I don't think he can
Oh.
say that yet because we gotta wait. Don't say that, Austin.
Mm, I'm damn.
That is a bomb drop.
Oh
That
shit.
is huge. Honestly, that does affect, honestly, I don't know about you, TRP, and I might be a little biased, but that does affect my perception on Saturday's game. I mean, if you guys aren't, game planning for us, that's going to be tough because Caleb out there going crazy. And, I'm not trying to be.
Oh, we're game planned on the past, just not you.
Oh, okay. Okay. Got it.
Mm.
Hey, I'm not trying to be arrogant here, but you guys all know I can go out there and drop 150 on your head. Like I've done it multiple times this year. So
I
is
know, but we're fast in the air
you
for
are
whatever
you are
reason.
fast in the air. That's true. Um,
And if you can make
AB
it past number 3, then you deserve to have however far you want to go.
AB
Mm.
dropping a bomb on us here in PFL, bro. This is how we want to do the Week
It
12
makes me
podcast,
sad
bro.
too, because I'm from Oregon.
Uh-huh.
Damn. So you gotta leave home. That's what you're
I
telling
was
me.
literally I was literally at that school 2 weeks ago.
That's insane. Um,
Damn.
well, TRP, I was hoping to pass this to you without that fucking bomb drop, but what are your
Right.
thoughts on this game? Let's push that aside for just 2 seconds, and I'm gonna put you on the spot, bro. Who's winning? Is it USC or Oregon? Who winning? And we won't get mad. I promise. We won't get mad.
Both of y'all losing, so we good in the playoffs. That's how I feel. But to be honest, I got y'all. I got USC winning. If
Appreciate that.
Caleb come out and then the white Reggie Bush himself
Yes, sir.
comes out at the same time, then as me me personally seeing how y'all work, that's gonna be hard to stop. Real talk.
Yep.
I do have Oregon. Oregon probably gonna put up a fight.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But I think y'all too much for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got y'all in the playoffs.
Shit, we going in the playoffs. Shit, we'll see,
And
bro.
hope y'all know what happened if Ole Miss lose to
Uh
Florida
huh.
State.
Oh
You
man.
know, because that 1 versus 7 seed. I mean,
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean that honestly that game matters not as much due to the reason our games are so important is because we all have
mm-hmm,
tiebreakers amongst the four of us. We've all played each other. That's why
mm-hmm,
that's why it shakes the standings so much. But Ole Miss will drop into that same 6-6 conversation for that final 8th spot. That's why it's those matches are gonna be the big ones,
right,
to keep on. But
Utah and Alabama will be cool though.
yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. I mean, the rest of the games are still gonna be fun. I think
mm-hmm,
we're gonna see a huge bounce back out of Texas. I don't want to not give the boys their time here, so I think we're gonna see a big bounce back out of Texas. I think they're gonna win. I think FSU gonna beat Ole Miss. I think Cincinnati gonna win. Obviously, they're the best team in the nation. I mean, that's number one right
right.
there. That's our boys. I think
Facts,
Friday's
coach
game
over there.
is gonna be super fun to watch. I do think Utah is gonna beat Bama, but I'm really excited to just watch that as a neutral fan, a game that has impact for seeding, of course, but doesn't really have impact as far as overall playoff picture. And then Saturday is just a couple of dudes playing for pride. And I think Casey Parker about to go fucking crazy on Saturday. So, before we play Austin. So I think it's going to be a real interesting week. Uh, it is a lot of shaking up, and of course, we are the final game that will decide most of the seeding. So, I mean, it's gonna be a great time. And I do want to say, for anyone who doesn't know, I did put it in the chat now that we've talked about it with Zeke, but for some added spice, Austin and I will be duo commentating the USC Oregon
What?
game. Yes, sir.
Oh
Yes, sir.
shit.
We are going to be talking about it because, normally both of us, we don't commentate our own games. That's kind of a PFL rule, but because we're both commentating, we can kind of have the bias on both sides, so we can still talk good about each team. And it's such an important game that we thought it would be fun to have that live reaction about going to the playoffs or not right then and there. So, we dropping some bombs here this Tuesday night. So it's gonna be a great week. It's gonna be a great week.
It's gonna be awkward in that booth and one of y'all lose.
Oh man, one of us out so fast. It could be like everyone have a shitty night. Click, like just out of there, just fucking, just gone. But up until that point, it's gonna be good. And if it's a,
Because if we lose, I get to say where I'm going faster.
yeah, that is true. That is true, bro.
True.
That is true.
So it's a win-win for me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I want to touch on that too. Obviously, I know this isn't really an admin podcast, but just so you guys know and everyone watching knows, we are going to announce, Austin knows this obviously because he's staff, but we will be announcing, when you can specifically post your top schools, when you can commit, all that good stuff as we get through the playoffs. We're not trying to distract people from the playoff hype, all that energy. But obviously, after this week, any team that's not in the playoffs, those coaches are allowed to recruit. So you are allowed to reach out to guys if you are not in the playoffs at the end of week 12 here after Saturday night. But at this time, I'm going to say this, publicly: do not post top schools. Do not post where you're going. We will make an announcement when that officially opens up. So thank you, Austin, for that killer segue. See, we just feed each other. Segue is great. It's perfect. With that, we're just about wrapped up. As is tradition, I'm gonna, pass to AB, and then TRP, you're gonna get the last word. You're gonna get to say whatever you'd like to say, and then we'll wrap it up. But thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this little special Week 12 version of the podcast, talking about the playoff implications, talking about all of Week 11's games. It's been a great season. Obviously, we will be back next week, I believe. Austin, normally you do this, but I'm gonna steal it from you. It's Zeke next week, right? It's the main man himself.
Correct.
So that's gonna be, honestly, that's going to be massive. We're going to have a ton of playoff games to talk about. Maybe a couple surprises, so tune in for sure next week. But as always, it's your boy John Smith. I'm happy to be back at it. And AB, what you want to say to the people?
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Yeah, I guess tune in on Saturday to see what happens. I have no clue, but and Thursday too. Shout out to the boys in blue.
And TRP, you get the last word, my man. Anything you'd like to say? Anybody you want to shout out before we wrap it up?
I just want to appreciate y'all for having me on the pod. I mean, shout out to the whole Notre Dame team. You know what I mean? J Pick, Kai, Ethan. You know what I'm saying? Sims.
You are
You
now
know.
officially with J Pick on the Notre Dame
Uh-huh.
list
Hey, and
for
appreciate
attendees.
y'all.
We appreciate you. That's all.
All right. And thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely. Perfect. With that, everybody, have a wonderful Tuesday night. Enjoy the games this week. We can't wait to see y'all in the chats. We can't wait to talk to y'all about it next week. So tune in with Zeke. Later.